The most important thing is this: to sacrifice what you are now for what you can become tomorrow. Who belonged to no one, who belonged to everyone, who had nothing, who wanted everything. Even a snail will eventually reach its destination.
The man who has forgotten self may be said to have entered heaven. Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. Every act of goodness is born from our desire to be happy.
I feel like a big faker because I've been putting my life back together and nobody knows. To live is so startling, it leaves little time for anything else.
I ought to go upright and vital and speak the rude truth in all ways.
It's not always that we need to do more, but rather that we need to focus on less. It is not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living. It is never too late to be what you might have been. You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself.
Your sacred space is where you can find yourself over and over again. The truth is not always beautiful, nor beautiful words the truth.
No matter how long you train someone to be brave, you never know if they are or not until something real happens. Sometimes our light goes out, but is blown again into instant flame by an encounter with another human being. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one.
The job of feet is walking, but the hobby is dancing.
Mostly, the world sees you the way you see yourself. Alive or dead, the truth won't rest. Rise up while you can.
Tomorrow hopes we have learned something from yesterday.
It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. Being human is not hard because you're doing it wrong. It's hard because you're doing it right. It's partly true too, but it isn't all true. People always think something's all true. Sacrifice a few years of comfort for decades of freedom.
Dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll die today.
Time deals gently only with those who take it gently.
The language of light can only be decoded by the heart. Living never wore one, so much as the effort not to live.
In reality, there are no persons, only threads of memories and habits. At the moment of realization, the person ceases. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. The boy and his heart had become friends, and neither was capable now of betraying the other.
Tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything.
I have learned now that while those who speak about one's miseries usually hurt, those who keep silence hurt more.
Kendati patasantara kebebasan, dan ketidak pedulian terkadang saru.
Our worlds are an AI rendering of our input. Be curious, travel, and elpor to create a better world. It was amazing how it worked. The tiniest bit of truth made credible the greatest lies.
Our moral economy went bankrupt long before our financial one.
Good things happen in your life when you surround yourself with positive people.
If you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place.
No matter what happens or how bad it seems today, life does go on and it will be better tomorrow. When life takes away, something of greater value is always given in return.
A conscious human is driven by their conscience, not popular opinion.
And though you think the world is at your feet, it can rise up and tread on you.
Enchantment lies in everyday moments if you are observant. But if a villain can be made then they can be unmade.
Summer is for surrendering. Winter is for wondering. One of the most important things in life is family. If your origin is bad, it will affect your future negatively.
Two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I am not sure about the universe.
What you believe you can receive, if you doubt it, you will do without it. Prayer is the mortar that holds our house together. I never approve or disapprove of anything now. It is an absurd attitude to take towards life.
In the midst of darkness, he alone sees the dawn. In the midst of the soundless, he alone hears harmony.
Those who are wise won't be busy, and those who are too busy can't be wise.
The sidelines may be safer, but life is played on the field. For them to perceive the advantage of defeating the enemy, they must also have their rewards.
No one owes you anything. You owe yourself everything.
You never know who you're inspiring or uninspiring. People notice more than you think.
Just as heart is a fountain of unspoken words, the universe is a womb of wonder, weird worlds.
Forget injuries. Never forget kindnesses.
Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things.
The serpent, if it wants to become the dragon, must eat itself.
A man is a success if he gets up in the morning and gets to bed at night, and in between, he does what he wants to do. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way.
Apparent confusion is a product of good order, apparent cowardice of courage, apparent weakness of strength.
Free yourself from the inauthenticity and disempowerment of your story. There comes a time in your life when you have to choose to turn the page, write another book, or simply close it.
All is mystery, but he is a slave who will not struggle to penetrate the dark veil.
The human person finds his perfection in seeking and loving what is true and good. Thank people who help you because they make you happy. Thank people who don't help you because they make you strong. I think that if the world were a bit more like Comic-Con, it would be a better place. In a room where people unanimously maintain a conspiracy of silence, one word of truth sounds like a pistol shot. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth.
The truths that matter most to us come always half-spoken.
I need to stop fantasizing about running away to some other life and start figuring out the one I have. No, that is the great fallacy, the wisdom of old men. They do not grow wise, they grow careful. When the darkness closes all around, beauty is still there just waiting to be found.
If freedom is short of weapons, we must compensate with willpower.
The mind is like a restless monkey, but with practice and detachment can be tamed and made peaceful. I'm killing time while I wait for life to shower me with meaning and happiness. Success to me is being happy, truly fulfilled, being proud of myself, and doing different things all the time. Never let your past mistakes cause you to doubt your future. Admit when you're wrong, shut up when you're right. A daily dose of daydreaming heals the heart, soothes the soul, and strengthens the imagination. Any war that requires the suspension of reason as a necessity for support is a bad war.
Other people are only aspects of our own greater being.
Not only are we all unique, we're also all connected. Therefore, it makes no sense that you could ever be rejected. It is easier to be wise for others than for ourselves.
I only want to write. And there's no college for that, except life. There's no clarity. There was never meant to be clarity.
One is not struck by the truth until prompted quite accidentally by some external event.
Gratitude creates hope, and hope activates the law of attraction.
Everything looks impossible initially, and then everything eases out gradually. Beginning is the key. I am always doing what I cannot do yet, in order to learn how to do it. If all the people who were called crazy started acting normal, we'd probably still be living in caves. Optimists move through life with a happy exterior. What happens on the inside shows up on the outside. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results.
There's nothing more frightful than ignorance in action. Grace isn't a little prayer you chant before receiving a meal. It's a way to live.
What one generation finds ridiculous, the next accepts, and the third shudders when it looks back on what the first did. Do not lose yourself in the crowd. You are the only one you've got. Take care of your soul. Talking without thinking is like shooting without aiming. The unselfish part of us can help us understand others better.
They laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at them because they're all the same.
There are 1,000 reasons to live this life. Every one of them is sufficient. Charity, like the sun, brightens every object on which it shines.
We seek the fire of the spark that is already within us.
Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing.
Remember that you are only alive now. This is the only moment you have. Embrace it.
The art of being wise is knowing what to overlook. If you don't learn to laugh at life, it'll surely kill you, that I know.
We don't receive wisdom. We must discover it for ourselves.
Behind every successful person lies a pack of haters. When there are many worlds, you can choose the one you walk into each day. It takes as much courage to have tried and failed as it does to have tried and succeeded. Listening stops with the ears, the mind stops with recognition, but spirit is empty and waits on all things. A smart person knows how to talk. A wise person knows when to be silent.
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. When I get sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead.
If a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing badly. It should not matter, of course, that I could be crazy, because as luck would have it, fortune favors me.
Never worry a bit in life. Always be full of merriment.
Being afraid to take chances is scarier than actually doing things that challenge you. Life, it's not just about watching the stars, it's about shining with them. My motto is that you can't always control what happens to you in life, but you can control your reaction. There are two types of pains, one that hurts you and the other that changes you. No life is a waste, the blue man said. The only time we waste is the time we spend thinking we're alone. Truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going away. Before wanting to feel at home with someone else, learn how to feel at home with yourself.
Let your mind wander in the pure and simple. Be one with the infinite. Let all things take their course.
If you're affected by peer pressure, you're literally not being yourself. I saw the world from the stars' point of view, and it looked unbearably lonely. An unbreakable mask and cunning are the keys for executing a plan flawlessly. Life's like a painter's palette. Just when you've got everything worked out, the colors change. You can't always win in life, but you can always have a mind that every loss is not a defeat. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. Without balance, a life is no longer worth the effort. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. It's not enough knowing that you can walk on water, Peter. You have to get out of the boat. Status will get you nowhere. Only an open heart will allow you to float equally between everyone.
Wit seduces by signaling intelligence without nerdiness.
If the emotions are free, the intellect will look after itself. Religious structure often dilutes the spiritual experience. The opportunity to secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands. What comes easy won't last. What lasts won't come easy. Anything can be done as long as you truly believe it. Your dreams are worth it. Persevere. Your focus is your power. Harness it. Even if no salvation should come, I want to be worthy of it at every moment. You have to fight through some bad days to learn the best days of your life. Sadness is sometimes the start to eternal happiness.
They don't actually want you to do your own thing, not unless it's their thing too.
A desire not to butt into other people's business is at least 80% of all human wisdom. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be.
The nourishment of body is food, while the nourishment of the soul is feeding others.
Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives, and not in what he is able to receive.
Great things are done by a series of small things brought together.
There is no moment more precious than the exact moment you are living now. Books are mirrors. You only see in them what you already have inside you. You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond to it. If you keep on making excuses to me, what you are doing is teaching me to always make excuses to you.
Nature is pleased with simplicity, and nature is no dummy.
If I had to live my life again, I'd make the same mistakes, only sooner. Illegal aliens have always been a problem in the United States. Ask any Indian.
You can't be brave if you've only had wonderful things happen to you.
A true friend doesn't have guts. They beat you up and later plead with you to beat them back. The man who has some respect for his person, keeps his carcass out of sight, hides himself as perfectly as he can. Liberty without learning is always in peril, and learning without liberty is always in vain. Champions have the courage to keep turning the pages, because they know a better chapter lies ahead. From whichever side I start, I think I am in an old place where others have been before me. What we cannot bear removes us from life. What remains can be borne. It's the people who never learn the word impossible make history, because they're the ones who keep trying. It was not the feeling of completeness I so needed, but the feeling of not being empty. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. The only person who can pull me down is myself, and I'm not going to let myself pull me down anymore. Consistency is the true foundation of trust. Either keep your promises or do not make them. That's the thing about life. A lot of the time, it isn't easy at all. We just have to try to make the best of it. The difference between greed and ambition is a greedy person desires things he isn't prepared to work for. Avoid the inelegance of assumption, the astigmatism of disregard. Free your thoughts. A home filled with nothing but yourself. It's heavy, that lightness. It's crushing, that emptiness. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. A wind that blows aimlessly is no good to anyone.
It was the truth, and like any truth, it was powerful.
Every luxury must be paid for, and everything is a luxury, starting with being in this world. I need you to be happy. I need one of us to be happy. If you don't know who you truly are, you'll never know what you really want. Stop doing what is easy or popular. Start doing what is right. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. Have faith in your ability. You will do just fine. The strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who fight battles we know nothing about. If your dreams don't scare you, they are too small.
Go into emptiness, strike voids, bypass what he defends, hit him where he does not expect you. It takes more effort to avoid the truth than it does to face it.
From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life.
Face reality as it is, not as it was, or as you wish it to be.
Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided.
Each star is a mirror reflecting the truth inside you.
In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. I never ask a man what his business is, for it never interests me. What I ask him about are his thoughts and dreams. There are no classes in life for beginners. Right away, you're always asked to deal with what is most difficult. Some of us are busy doing things. Some of us are busy complaining. Don't plan or make a financial decision that is dependent on another person without letting them know first. Don't waste your energy trying to change opinions. Do your thing and don't care if they like it.
Growth is in a series of mistakes. That's the only way you learn.
Our most significant opportunities will be found in times of greatest difficulty. Look at the sky tonight. All the stars have a reason.
It is the privilege of the gods to want nothing, and of godlike men to want little.
Life doesn't just happen to you. You receive everything in your life based on what you've given. In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. I am ignorant of absolute truth, but I am humble before my ignorance, and therein lies my honor and my reward.
If you concentrate on small, manageable steps, you can cross unimaginable distances.
The healing man left me a wee bit broken so I could understand. Common man's patience will bring him more happiness than common man's power.
Sometimes I think my head is so big because it is so full of dreams.
Scar tissue is stronger than regular tissue. Realize the strength, move on. If you do not enjoy a moment, you lose it forever. If you enjoy it, it is yours forever.
I do not know everything. Still many things I understand.
A wise man always has something to say, whereas a fool always needs to say something.
The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive.
This work was strictly voluntary, but any animal who absented himself from it would have his rations reduced by half.
Therefore, just as water retains no constant shape, so in warfare there are no constant conditions.
If you start by promising what you don't even have yet, you'll lose your desire to work towards getting it.
Anger dwells only in the bosom of fools.
Life is like yoga. The only way you can enjoy it is by relaxing into any position you happen to find yourself in. Life is too short or too long for me to allow myself the luxury of living it so badly. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Some things aren't meant to be known, only believed. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. I have a theory that, as long as you have one good friend, one real friend, you can get through anything. Having an eye for beauty isn't the same thing as a weakness, except possibly when it comes to you. It is life, I think, to watch the water. A man can learn so many things.
He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions.
Anything that smiles often needs to be reminded that the world is a cruel, dark place. When faith in our freedom gives way to fear of our freedom, silencing the minority view becomes the operative protocol. In order that all men may be taught to speak truth, it is necessary that all likewise should learn to hear it. It's no use going back to yesterday, because I was a different person then. Every existing thing is born without reason, prolongs itself out of weakness, and dies by chance. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death.
Management of many is the same as management of few. It is a matter of organization. We cannot do everything at once, but we can do something at once. Most of what matters in our lives takes place in our absence.
Do not look for happiness outside yourself. The awakened seek happiness inside. Try it before you doubt it, because it might just be for you.
The truth is the kindest thing we can give folks in the end.
Every passion borders on the chaotic, but the collector's passion borders on the chaos of memories. It is one thing to be clever and another to be wise.
Convince your enemy that he will gain very little by attacking you. This would diminish his enthusiasm. It's good to do uncomfortable things. It's weight training for life. Pessimistic tidak, lebih daripada sikap takbur mendahului nasib. During a conversation, listening is as powerful as loving.
You are the magic code that unlocks your happiness.
A star is not honored for its size, but for its light.
Acquiring wisdom is great, but it is not the goal. Applying it is. The past is apparition. The future, a shifting illusion. Time is a trick. This moment is all there is. Unless we learn to know ourselves, we run the danger of destroying ourselves. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is reluctance.
Man in general, if reduced to himself, is too wicked to be free.
My life will be the best illustration of all my work. Never be embarrassed to struggle. There is absolutely no shame in working hard to get to where you want to be. The speed of your success is limited only by your dedication and what you're willing to sacrifice. You don't get to choose not to pay a price. You only get to choose which price you pay.
Gratitude is best refined through the fires of adversity. If you can feel the future, then you are about to experience it.
It is rare for people to be asked the question which puts them squarely in front of themselves.
If a man takes no thought about what is distant, he will find sorrow near at hand.
Everything that happens before death is what counts.
I shall allow no man to belittle my soul by making me hate him. After all, if you run far enough, no one can catch you.
I could agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. H is for habit. Winners make a habit of doing the things losers don't want to do.
Judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it. The good fighter is able to secure himself against defeat, but cannot make certain of defeating the enemy.
Friendship happens when the distance between the hearts tends to zero. The key to flow is to pursue an activity for its own sake, not for the rewards it brings. You must learn from your past mistakes, but not lean on your past successes.
Receive with simplicity everything that happens to you.
Life will just not wait for us to live it. We are in it now, and now is the time to live. Good people see the good and bring out the best in other people.
Don't be afraid of death. Be afraid of the unlived life.
It is quite simple to live a life of progress. Have a vision and be committed to the process required for success. Divide your success in small pieces. Easy to manage failure, easy to achieve success. As architect of your reality, you are empowered to create it as you choose. It is a fool's prerogative to utter truths that no one else will speak. Every violation of truth is not only a sort of suicide in the liar, but is a stab at the health of human society. Two things define you: your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything.
Know thyself, know thy enemy. 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories.
Letting go means to come to the realization that some people are a part of your history, not a part of your destiny.
True knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing.
Fiction is a solution, the best solution to the problem of existential solitude. As a leader, you're not paid to make decisions. You're paid to get results from decisions. I knew who I was this morning, but I've changed a few times since then. If you're going to burn a bridge behind you, make sure you've crossed it first.
You never fail until you stop trying.
The nobler sort of man emphasizes the good qualities in others and does not accentuate the bad. The inferior does. For great men, religion is a way of making friends. Small people make religion a fighting tool.
If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other.
The road to success is paved with determination, not with the footsteps of quitters. I prefer for my world to have the highest certification of being a faithful representation of the exterior world. Only the hand that erases can write the true thing. Be sure what you want and be sure about yourself.
Life is an essay you yourself have to write, start to finish.
All that happens means something. Nothing you do is ever insignificant. In life, you need either inspiration or desperation.
But only he who, himself enlightened, is not afraid of shadows.
Perhaps it would be simpler if you just did what you're told and didn't try to understand things. With the truth, all given facts harmonize, but with what is false, the truth soon hits a wrong note. Even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. I don't know who I am right now, but I know who I'm not, and I like that.
In war, practice dissimulation, and you will succeed.
Life is short. If you doubt me, ask a butterfly. Their average lifespan is a mere 5 to 14 days. Those who are without compassion cannot see what is seen with the eyes of compassion. Every man should lose a battle in his youth, so he does not lose a war when he is old.
All the fish needs is to get lost in the water. All man needs is to get lost in Tao. A constitution that is made for all nations is made for none. Appear at points which the enemy must hasten to defend. March swiftly to places where you are not expected. Even though the ship may go down, the journey goes on. The essence of knowledge is having it to use it. I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens.
Even if you don't have all the things you want, be grateful for the things you don't have that you don't want. The prettiest flowers are in their honor in the ugliest dirt. That is why enemies can be great motivators. They serve as fuel for your fire. I'm sure the universe is full of intelligent life. It's just been too intelligent to come here. Life is pleasant. Death is peaceful. It's the transition that's troublesome. It is one of the beautiful compensations of life. No man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself. You may tend to get cancer from the thing that makes you want to smoke so much, not from the smoking itself. A humble man will always receive the best that others have to offer, for he recognizes the truth. The goal of education is to enable individuals to continue their education. Don't be bothered by the things you can't change. Instead, focus on how to make your life better. Never stop just because you feel defeated. The journey to the other side is attainable only after great suffering. When we venture in that unfamiliar sea, we trust blindly in those who guide us, believing that they know more than we do.
The desire to reach for the stars is ambitious. The desire to reach hearts is wise.
Paradoxically, though it may seem, it is nonetheless true that life imitates art, far more than art imitates life. Don't go broke trying to impress broke people. Never let hard lessons harden your heart. The hard lessons of life are meant to make you better, not bitter. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. Every day is a bank account, and time is our currency. No one is rich, no one is poor. We've got 24 hours each. Simple the life, simpler will be your instincts. The laws that govern the universe will obey your simplicity.
So shut up, live, travel, adventure, bless, and don't be sorry.
Sometimes the things that break your heart end up fixing your vision. First impressions are rarely worth preserving. Men typically fall short of our expectations. An act of kindness may take only a moment of our time, but when captured in the heart, the memory lives forever. The best fiction is far more true than any journalism. One day can change your life, one day can ruin your life. All life is 3 or 4 big days that change everything. No matter what you're going through, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Focus on where you're going and how deserved it is after fighting for as long as you did. The worst thing he told me is bitterness. People end up so bitter.
Take care of your body. Remember, health is another form of wealth.
Your own positive future begins in this moment. All you have is right now. Every goal is possible from here.
I've never seen anything as bright as the rays of kindness.
The simple step of a courageous individual is not to take part in the lie. One word of truth outweighs the world. Failure is not when you fail once, but when you refuse to learn from your mistakes. Weekends don't count unless you spend them doing something completely pointless.
He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still.
Truth is a hard master and costly to serve, but it simplifies all problems.
The only real battle in life is between hanging on and letting go.
This had seemed a safe choice, since to be against the Beatles is to be against life. Never underestimate the power. You have to take your life in a new direction. Walk at your own pace. Don't run after others because your journey may not be the same. It's easy to talk big, but the important thing is whether or not you clean up the shit.
Earth's crammed with heaven, but only he who sees takes off his shoes. Sometimes your only available transportation is a leap of faith. When you lose your smile, you lose your way in the chaos of life.
If you possess enough courage to speak out what you are, you will find that you are not alone. Life teaches us the right path is rarely the easy one.
Do more listening than talking. Talk more about them than about you. If you are not having fun, you are doing something wrong.
The bottom line is, insults only hurt when they come from someone I respect. The light at the end of the tunnel is just the light of an oncoming train.
Life is not about living the safer option. Life is about living a life worth living. Never give up. Things that you keep dreaming about will happen one day.
I keep telling my students to never give up chasing your dreams. And I, too, will never give up chasing my dreams. Be noble like the sun. Let even those who resent you for shinning benefit from your warmth. Above all else, guard your heart, for it affects everything else you do. You must learn to let go. Release the stress. You were never in control anyway. Sometimes the hardest part isn't letting go, but rather learning to start over. The difference between success and failure is not giving up.
There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare.
Change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Before something great happens, everything falls apart.
A kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life.
Well, it's hard to be yourself. It's the hardest job there is. To me, all research is exploring the universe, understanding it deeper, one finding at a time. I'll try anything once, twice if I like it, 3 times to make sure.
I cried because I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet.
We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. No one knows your truth but you. If you're secure in yourself, no one and no can touch you. Believe in sudden shifts in life. You never know what is coming for you.
I knew it like destiny, and at the same time, I knew it as choice.
It might be possible that the world itself is without meaning. Great goals make great people. People cannot hit what they do not aim for.
There are not more than 5 primary colors, yet in combination they produce more hues than can ever be seen. If you can dream it, you have the innate ability to make it a reality in your life.
When one experiences truth, the madness of finding fault with others disappears. In all debates, let truth be thy aim, not victory or an unjust interest. Never to suffer would never to have been blessed. The simple things are also the most extraordinary things, and only the wise can see them. The certainty about the uncertain is that it will remain uncertain till the time it's certain. Time has always been the greatest ally to truth, as time eventually relieves and reveals all. We had the experience but missed the meaning. An approach to the meaning restores the experience in a different form.